harmonize their voice?
That is done.
That is done. Jess literally yelled at me last night because I couldn't remember the Hex Girls' names. She was like, if you went through at least one goth period in your life, you know who the Hex Girls are.
I know the Suicide Girls.
You ever seen a Scooby-Doo movie?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to
Hex Girls.
another episode of Hex Girls.
Yes.
No, this is PipingHotPizza. We're here to talk to you about stuff such as why so much hate on phone games, and why do you hate me so much? I'm a very likable person. I mean, I'm just fine.
If you have to call yourself likable, you're not likable.
I was told online I'm likable. My mom told me I'm likable. I don't understand why there's so much hate on phone games.
Explain.
Yeah.
There's not enough quality.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? It's a phone. It's a device that holds.
There's some pretty high quality games because my instructor from class, like, he almost exclusively plays mobile games and everything like that. He had like a little tablet thing, and it basically looks like it was made in like Unreal Engine. Like the lighting of the game and everything is amazing. It's just that, you know, I think the biggest deterrent from anyone picking up a mobile game is that they're literally catered to
consoles and
to be like a cash grab type game.
Oh, yeah. They think of it instantly as like microtransactions, like freemium and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, just don't fall into it. Just be a.
Well, there's some games where you can't really not fall into that shit. Where, like, if you like this game and you're playing it, there's some games where it's like, oh, you ran out of fucking energy crystals. You can't play anymore unless you get fucking energy crystals, and oh, it's $250 to do this next level, but you can only buy 500 for fucking $40.
I think it's human nature though to further yourself, improve yourself,
And that's what they prey upon.
What?
That's what they prey upon. They already know what it is.
Right.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I fell prey to that.
On what game?
What game?
Yeah, what
Final
game?
Fantasy Brave Exvius. He put me on it too.
Now on mobile.
I want to say I dropped like dropped like 600 some bucks on it so far.
I feel like if you put a game like Final Fantasy on mobile, you're gonna have to drop some money, even though it is free.
Yes.
So.
Yes, it's just a gotcha mechanic with the
right, exactly. Like, oh, it's free, but is it
Ariana
really?
Grande's on there.
Yeah, Ariana Grande's on it too. Just a
And
side.
Katy
In Final Fantasy?
Just a
Yeah,
side,
and
yeah.
Katy
And
Perry.
Wow.
Katy Perry.
Sold. Just kidding.
No, you can't get them. It's like, yeah.
No, anyway, I don't see that. Well, from what I see, from my point of view, is every time I go online, I see like memes and whatnot with, you know, it's mostly like, oh, PC Master Race, and then you got the console people always arguing back and forth who's better, Xbox One or PS4, and then you just have the PC Master Race people just egging down on those guys, and then you have those other people that just say like, why can't we all just be gamers except for fuck mobile gaming? I'm just like,
And then, yeah, you got the people,
I'm just
mobile
like,
gamers,
what's wrong with mobile gaming?
sitting in the
just
corner
like-
eating on glue.
Picking on easy targets.
I'm not gonna take my whole damn console to work and play, you know, a full game of like League or anything on there. I'm just gonna be on my phone and just play a quick game or something I can pick up real quick, stimulate my mind for like 10 minutes, and then back to reality or wherever I go.
Well, when people think of mobile gaming, they're not thinking Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, fucking Pokemon Go, all that shit. They're thinking Candy Crush. And
Well, it's just a multitude. It's Candy Crush, Clash of Clans, Final Fantasy, RPG fighting, Duel Links, Clash Kingdom, Kingdom Clash.
See, yeah, I'm thinking more of it as a genre, not really like a different kind of game. Like Candy Crush, that's more of a puzzle type genre game.
Yeah. That's something that you can easily pick up in like 2 or 3 minutes and beat a level or two, and then go back to your daily mission.
I had to stop playing that because I was getting too addicted, though.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, Candy Crush.
Candy Crush was the game that made me stop playing mobile games in general.
2012 or 13 when I was like lit.
I had to wait to get a life like every 30 minutes, something like that.
Spamming everyone notifications and stuff.
Yeah, and you want to spend money so you can like play again.
I didn't spend any money on that. I was like, no.
Spam my friends.
Yeah.
I think overall, like basically what I already said, though, is that it came down to money, especially when there's like articles where there's like a lady who spent like thousands and thousands of dollars just on Candy Crush. And in that sense, I believe, I haven't played the game, But I believe all it is that you're just getting a second chance at that level. And that's the only pay incentive of that game.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in like some of these other games, I believe it's called pronounced gacha, Gacha, and it's basically like a gambling thing.
Gacha.
You're at least getting like a new unit or a new item out of it, and they do update it for most of these games weekly or monthly with new units, new items, etc. Because I've looked into, I played Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. I played Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, which is more like your traditional turn-based Final Fantasy. But there's also Fate, Grand Order. There's like Puzzle and Dragons. I'm pretty sure Puzzle and Dragons is still very active, and that's like one of your first like big gotcha games, from what I understand, because you do have to pay for units, etc. So, but overall, you still get something, and it's updated weekly. I don't know what Candy Crush is like though, and why you want to pay for that.
It's just level based. You use energy. You know, I think you start with like 10 or 20 energy or something like that. Or...
I know there's a couple of like Kingdom Hearts games too.
Union Cross or Union X or something like that.
Yep.
There was one that was on like like the older phones too. I can't remember, Coded or something like that.
Talking like Nokia older phones?
I'm talking about like Razer. There was a Kingdom Hearts game.
Or Rechain of... No.
No. It was...
Chain of Memories was on.
I think it was Coded.
Yeah, there was a Kingdom
No,
Hearts.
they released Coded. It was like a puzzle game, I think, actually. And then they re-released it on like the Nintendo DS.
Oh, the Recoded?
Yeah, that was recoded. There was Coded, and then there was recoded, like...
Interesting.
And then, what was that other game?
Community-based online social networks.
Hearts Mobile.
Officially launched in December. Kingdom Hearts X. Wait, I think I know. I think it was the game that they. I'm not sure if they took it down and re-released it, but they renamed it Kingdom Hearts X or Kingdom Hearts Union Cross or something like that. What was the?
That must be newer.
I'm not sure. But anyway, Prince of Persia, though, am I right?
What about Super Mario Run? Like games like that.
Nintendo is going to be.
Yeah, they're going to do Mario Kart now.
They're focusing more on
mobile stuff.
No, when we say mobile gaming, are we talking mobile phone gaming?
Mobile phone gaming. Mobile phone gaming. Yes.
Or are we talking? Okay.
Mobile phone gaming.
You are
because that was another thing I was gonna mention is that like the Switch just came out.
Right.
Well, not just came out, but
it's hot right now.
It's hot right now, especially when they just announced Pokemon Sword and Shield. Like it's a thing that you can play at home and on the go.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole advertisement when they announced it, especially. You can have multiple people play it as well. So in that sense, Nintendo's focusing on moving. I mean, it's mobile gaming, but not phone.
But they also did say that they want to move towards more games to be concentrated on the phone and on tablets.
Yeah, they're focusing on really expanding now because the Switch is the Switch is kind of like
the Switch is still huge. It's gonna stay huge because it's their core stuff.
Yeah. Right. Ever since they announced like third-party stuff on it, like maybe they're thinking like, yeah, let's go mobile and stuff too now. Which isn't a bad move, I guess. But I'm still looking.
Don't get me wrong. I've been playing mobile games, phone mobile games since I used to be on my mom's phone playing Snake and Snake.
Yeah,
and Snake. Not illegally, but downloading Prince of Persia without my mom's permission.
I will say there was probably a turning point when iPod Touch came out.
Oh yeah.
And they had a bunch of games on there. And I was playing this game called Idle Heroes or some shit like that, and then Fruit Ninja, and
Fruit Ninja was big. Idle Heroes was also big.
Tetris is obviously a big one too.
What was this?
Bejeweled.
There was
Bejeweled
one game called Elemental God or some shit like that, where it's like you had to put stuff together and make all like the elements of like the world or something like
Sounds
that.
like Avatar.
So I thought it was fucking good.
Alchemy or something?
No, I forgot what it was called. It was something God. But I remember playing those on the iPod Touch and like playing them every fucking day. And then all of a sudden these microtransactions and everything came out. And I think that's where a lot of people get like that mobile gaming is ass. Where it's not
once
like,
they see that once they see you need a credit card information, they're like that turns them off.
Yeah, because like they're not bad games, but like there's definitely like probably not worth to some people probably not worth the purchase. Because like I said, there's like they got a bunch of games where one of them is Marvel's Future Fight is one game I'm playing right now on mobile. Where you can fucking play as Iron Man, Thanos, anybody go running through these levels, and it's kind of like one of those top
down,
yeah, where you control the character through it.
What is it called again?
Isometric.
Yeah.
What's the game called again?
Marvel Future Fight.
That sounds like Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, or
yeah.
What's that other one? That Champions or something?
Yeah, it's pretty much what it was like is Ultimate Alliance.
I believe there's one where it's isometric top down, and then there's one where it's like fighting.
It's like Strike Force, and then there's I think it's Marvel Champions or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
Champions is the one which is like turn based, isn't it?
That one.
No,
I
it's a
played for
fighting
little
game.
bit, and I could not do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because I would bust my ass off doing all these fights, get this legendary crystal to try and get some good fighter, and then here you go, here's your fucking level 1 Wolverine again.
Well,
3 times in a row it did that to me, and I was done with it.
Gotcha.
Over with it.
Gotcha mechanic. It gotcha.
Yeah, that's pretty much. And then like they want you to get that pissed off, where you're like, you know what? Put in all these hours in here. I deserve a goddamn good superhero. I'm gonna drop $5 in so I can get a fucking Iron Man.
Are you ranting or are you explaining?
Yes.
Going further.
Yes.
I'm going further. Like I'm going into depth onto why people shit on mobile gaming.
Well, what about those games that don't have that flair? It's like
you mean like Tinder?
The simple stuff like Snake.
Tinder.
It's just like you got to go to the doctor to talk about that kind
The
of
stuff that's just supposed to be like addicting, and you play like 1 or 2 times, and now you gotta watch an ad. And you play one time again, watch another ad.
I mean, if the game's fucking good, I'll watch a goddamn 10-second ad. I don't give a shit.
But now they're building them up 20, 30 seconds, and you don't. And there's no skip. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, I hate like it's a full and they have a countdown too, just like a full on countdown. You just watch it.
Not gonna lie.
And that's gonna make you want the product less because I had to wait 30
movie.
seconds in the middle of my whatever.
I'm probably watching a movie or doing something else while playing a mobile game on my phone.
We'll put it like this: how much have you felt prey to a game that was actually being advertised lots of times, where you're like, I'm gonna give that a shot?
A lot, because never sucker.
I resent the ad and the game because I have to watch this and I don't want to.
I don't resent any.
Well, they kept showing.
Plague Inc. is one I think that's just riddled with ads.
They kept showing.
But I muscle through it.
Another Eden is the name of the game. Have you heard of that game? No. Another Eden. Apparently it's like it's catching some fire, but it just kept popping up on my Facebook. Kept popping up on like Final Fantasy ads and whatnot. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna give this a shot. And I seen a buddy playing this. I'm like, I'm really gonna give this a shot now. Because I just keep seeing it everywhere, and then I downloaded it. I still haven't touched it yet, but we'll touch base on that when we get to.
Well, what if you bought like a new Call of Duty game and it was for free? No, you got it for free, and after every death online, you got to watch an ad. Would you end up paying that $60?
Hell no! If I'm paying $60 for that,
but you got to watch 30-second ad after every death.
Damn near takes that long to respawn. After the ad.
Here's one perspective to think about it as well, because we keep on mentioning the money aspect and everything like that. I cannot remember what it was called, but we played that one gotcha game where it was kind of like Monster Match, and essentially like there's difficulties to each like level and stage. There was like an easy, hard, master, blah blah blah, and we played it for like maybe 6 months before like they announced that
they were shutting it down.
Yeah, they're gonna maintain the server so that way really anyone that wants to still play can, but there's literally gonna be 0 new content, and I feel like it has a lot to do with how they did the game balancing type thing. Certain units that if you've ever played Puzzle and Dragons, essentially there's creatures that start in the far back and then they move
every
forward.
turn.
Yeah, every turn they move forward, and then once they get up close to you, then they can attack, and then they go back XYZ amount of units,
right,
depending on each unit. That's how that game worked. And on the hardest difficulty, I could not think of a single way. Like, you could have units with high defense, high HP, that you could survive a single hit from any creature, unless you had a creature that reflected all damage back to the monster. And so it was a matter of, okay, let me just get 5 units that reflect all damage and just rotate their special ability and never worry about taking damage. I never have to worry about any other unit because this team is undefeated. Like, there's no way that I can lose. And so when you had a bunch of people doing that, they had no source of income because no one had an incentive to get new units. Meanwhile, we're going to constantly bring it up because we play at Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. They constantly have a power creep. They're constantly pushing out newer and harder content. You're going to want these newer and harder hitting creatures or units to be able to power through and get through this content. Otherwise, you know, your units might not deal enough damage, or they might not be able to absorb enough hits from a tank. And that's overall kind of like a Final Fantasy system. You'll want a tank, your healer, and your DPS units. And that it comes down to game balance. And that's another thing that the consideration is that game balance. You technically don't even have to pay. These companies thrive off of the people that have disposable income. That's basically the market that mobile games cater to.
Right. If you can't afford it, that's still fine. You can keep playing it, but
right.
You know, we're just going to limit you.
Right.
Like, it's a free game. We're just going to limit you on how much you can play. If you got some money to cough the dough to keep playing.
Right. Because like
by all means.
I played Final Fantasy Brave Exvius when it first released. Played it for maybe like 6 months. Had a hiatus of like a few months, and then got back into it. By the time that like I got to this point where like I no longer really need to stress about the game. Stress being like I'm never like hurting to defeat content. Like my units are very powerful. I'm good. I just never really put too much money into it. Just maybe for a few units such as like Cloud because I really like Cloud. But overall, just by being free to play, I still had plenty of hours of gameplay invested. Whereas I could, you know, pay $60 on Anthem and apparently be mortified and terrified by its release and everything. But I still enjoyed it.
Speaking of paying, how much do you think you dropped on Brave XP so far?
More than you.
Let's hear a number.
No.
I want to hear a number. I gave my number.
I don't know.
Give your number.
I said 600. I said about like 600 some bucks.
This is embarrassing.
This is nothing. Like, well.
I mean, if he wants to just say more, he can just say more.
$600.
It's not like I was just like.
I was really going.
Well, yeah. But
I mean, it's not like I'm dropping 600 now. You know, over time it's like $20 here, $30
right,
here.
Yeah.
That was one thing.
$10 here, and then it just kept adding up.
That was another thing.
So what's the number?
I have no idea.
How many times? Okay, a good way to calculate it is how many times you've gone over and done that cycle.
And I want to say like at least 5 times.
That's like $1,000 some bucks.
Yes.
Hard oof.
See, I can't clown on that because I haven't dropped that much money on a game, but you'll spend that kind of money elsewhere. So it's like,
I mean,
right. Spend on what you like doing.
You're spending it weekly.
Yeah.
Yugi's.
Let's not get into that.
Yu-Gi-Ohs.
Let's not get into that
Amiibos.
because this is gonna turn into a
That's kind
rant.
of one reason.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
food.
In my
Like,
case, it's cosplaying.
I mean, not to like just veer far fucking away from mobile gaming and stuff like that. Like the one game I will say I spent like the most probably money on is probably Warframe. Warframe is a free game, but it's fun.
It's hot.
It's fun. Like you're able to run around, get nunchucks, all kinds of crazy shit, guns, all this stuff. I probably spent over $100 on Warframe.
See?
And like, if the game's good, I honestly see no problem spending like that $60 or something like that you would a regular game, especially with something like Warframe.
Didn't Funhouse do a thing where they did if the game is worth this much, if you invest that much time into it?
No, it was some stupid logic that one of their interns brought up where it was like $1 an hour, where a game should be worth like.
They set the movie price as the medium, like 2 hours, like how much is it for like a movie not on Tuesdays? So like $12 a seat. $12 for like a 2-hour movie, hour and a half movie.
$13.
Depends on
So
what time
basically,
you
like
go.
average it out to like I think like $7 an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
If you spent like I'm pretty sure like if you had a collective time of hours, I'm pretty sure it records in our Final Fantasy how much playtime you have.
I mean, I can check.
I'm pretty sure it'll even out to like it's well worth how much you spent on it.
Oh, for sure. Like, in fact, there was an article a long time ago about, I believe it was someone, government person, wanted to actually raise the prices of games because of that very reason. I don't remember who it was, but there was this essential mathematics behind it that the hours of entertainment per dollar that you get out of games is substantially higher. And a lot of people were making a fuss about it because, some people can't, do as I did and put $1,000 into one game. They can only spend like $60 per year for one game.
Right.
So that's why you have these people that might buy like just Call of Duty and play that until the next Call of Duty.
So this is how they justify DLC?
Yeah.
By just saying you can just release more content, give you more hours.
That's another cool thing, especially with Anthem. Like I really enjoy Anthem, but I also see the problems with it, and I see that it is an unfinished product and everything like that.
Yeah.
But do I still enjoy the gameplay and everything like that? Absolutely. But this is also catering towards the investors who basically push these games to be released so early, whereas the game developers don't have the time that it needs in order to be polished and be this great game from the gates. Nowadays we're getting games that are kind of like half-assed. Pay $60 another year, Destiny, and then
Yep.
and then get the game be a lot better. Like Year 2 Destiny 1 was a lot better than Year 1 Destiny 1, and Destiny 2 had the exact same situation. So when you have things like that where you're supposed to have the full game at $60 for a console game, and then you have to relate that to a mobile game and be like, okay, well, I can only play this for about 2 hours before I'm gated, and now I either have to get a higher rank, spend money to get a higher rank, or something. I mean, you could also argue, oh, mobile games aren't supposed to be, for hours on end. Some people like to play mobile games for hours on end.
Right, like it's the equivalent of, I tell you, it's the little equivalent of staring at a screen all day and playing the game. I could do the same thing on my phone, but I work.
And there's times where
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for work.
There's also times where like I'm at home with Jess and she got off work and she doesn't want to sit there and watch me fucking play Anthem or fucking Spider-Man.
And then you cuddle, and then she traps your one arm. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
I can't play my mobile games.
I can't
Oh,
play
darn.
mobile games. But then like I just want to just sit and hang out, but I also just kind of want to play a video game or something like just quick I can do on my phone.
Yeah, usually mobile games are very almost like mind numbing instead of like engaging your mind into the game.
Yeah.
Stimulating, yeah. That's the word that I'm looking for. Yeah. That's kind of a benefit of you're still doing something while just not being fully conscious.
Well, to be honest, I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure that my girlfriend's not going to see this, but when, because she always said like, get off the game. And I was like, all right, we're off consoles.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Like, if
that
she-
too, where like you'll go from one game to like another game, but
Right.
like motherfucker, it still counts.
I mean, and believe me, I can multitask on a phone when like if someone
That
messages me,
is
what up, hey, hi, oh, how's it going,
true,
and then
like-
back to what you were doing.
There's like the thing with mobile phone games is like you can just stop. Well, some you can stop wherever you are and just keep a conversation going or some shit like that, and you won't get bitched at for playing games too much. Even though it sounds like we fucking are addicted to playing video games, but
He said mobile.
Mobile.
Go mobile.
But it's really weird about like the success of like those mobile games. It's like you getting like 20, 30 million, 40 million downloads, but only maybe like 1 million, 2 million people are spending money on it.
Right.
Then you got those outliers who are spending $600,000 on it.
We call those whales.
Whales.
Dolphins.
whales.
We're dolphins.
We're most definitely dolphins.
There's people that will
I don't
literally
get it.
spend hundreds of dollars every single week.
I'm part of a few Facebook groups of one of the mobile games I'm playing, the Final Fantasy game, and I want to say who's the strongest PvP, the strongest PvP character in that game?
PvP?
Yeah, that vampire chick. Lilith? Yeah. Lilith is so OP. I don't have any of them. It's kind of hard to get her. There's people that have like a team of 5, and it's like you have like a 1% chance of getting that.
3%?
A 3%?
What up?
You have a 3%
Actually,
$604.
And then you have a team full of those people 6 stars. So you need to get like how many of those?
No. The team full of 7 stars. In order to get a 7-star, you need 2 of them. So they pulled a total of 10 of these. And as well, this Lilith character, you only can pull for 2 weeks. Yeah. And then after those 2 weeks, you can't anymore.
Yeah,
then you gotta find it on eBay.
Nope, you gotta buy them from that game for your account. So imagine how much those people spent in that span of 2 weeks, like just to get this team full of like OP characters.
Cocaina.
It's
That's
a lot.
unbelievable.
I gotta sell drugs to help my Final Fantasy Brave XP.
Oh my god.
Got any more of that lapis?
You have any more of them energies? I need some more energy.
Y'all got any more of that mana?
Think of another game. Clash of Clans.
I've never played Clash of Clans, so I have no idea what it's like.
Me neither.
Why? You know,
I think that's
those games are like big. Like I found what was that? Rome? No, not Rome Royale. Clash Royale or something like that.
Like yeah, they got a new one.
They have.
Like,
I was watching it on Twitch and there was like it felt like you were at like a Super Smash Bros tournament and stuff.
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone? Oh well, that's on a computer.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, but
You can still play it on your phone.
yeah, you can still play it on your phone. I believe it's like actually more people play it on their phone than actually on the computer.
Don't listen.
Let's talk about Farmville, man.
Don't listen.
Oh my
Sorry,
god.
I was taught never to ignore someone when they speak to me.
Well,
Then,
Oh my god.
stop listening.
I was told never to take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, Farmville isn't.
Pokemon TCG's on the phone now. Like it's
What?
actually compatible for the phone 'cause for the longest time it wasn't available on the phone.
what is it?
It's available now on the phone.
Pokemon TCG.
Farmville, I want to say, is an
Still not
early
gonna play it.
contributor into this.
Microtransaction.
Yeah,
What game?
Farmville.
It's not,
Farmville.
it's not a
Farmville.
mobile game.
Farmville.
but It was definitely like a game that you would play idly at like work or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like also the same intention of most mobile games, is to play it idly.
I want to say that was one of those games that came out when like the wave of like mobile gaming started blossoming. Like The Simpsons Tapped Out was a huge one.
Sims?
The Simpsons, where you had like to build the town or whatever. Like you know,
Homer destroyed the whole town. You need to
you
rebuild
need
the
to
town and
rebuild
stuff.
it. And it was one of those ones where it's like,
It's whole like
They
the
load up
waiting
money and-
mechanic thing. Like
yeah,
you build Homer's house and it takes like 2 hours to build. Oh, do you
Takes-
want to speed it up? Pay us some money.
those
Or
fucking
wait
games.
the 2 hours.
I've never heard of this.
Me neither.
Those
Family
are
Guy,
like,
Family Guy did the exact same thing.
those are
What?
like a huge basis of mobile gaming. Is this like build a park?
Mobile.
Tomato, tomato.
Yes. Keep going.
Look, he's
You were
stuck.
talking about mobile gaming.
Trying to fucking rib you right now. But that's like the fucking park builder
There it is.
is like the huge fucking basis of mobile gaming.
I'm just fucking. You're good.
Where it's like you build this fucking like Jurassic Park, I think is like one of the ones that got me, where you build a dinosaur paddock and it's gonna like the low ones are gonna be like 5 minutes, which is gonna keep you playing into the game, and then once you get to like once you actually know what you're doing and you're like, oh, I can actually get a chance to get a fucking T-Rex, you get the T-Rex and it's like, oh, this is gonna take me a week.
Yeah, they set up those time limits and stuff.
It literally said 7 days for my T-Rex paddock to build, and I was like, okay, so what do I do till then?
You wait.
I just sat at my desk.
You stared at it until your phone's battery died.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much why I don't play mobile games anymore.
I was playing the crap ton
Set an
of
egg
Mafia
timer for a
Wars
week
when
later.
that came out.
No,
Oh, the
Mafia
Mafia
Wars?
Wars,
Mafia
the
Wars? I
old
played
one
crap.
for Facebook,
Crap
where
ton of that.
everybody
Oh my
was
God.
on there. Like, I just got the flamethrower. Like, it's going down.
That was real back in the day.
What about like Words with Friends though?
Words with
Words with
Friends.
Friends.
I was around.
I still play that sometimes.
it's easy for those kind of games to get hot because everybody has a phone.
Yeah, that was another one of those things where you do it real quick and then you put it in your pocket.
That is the thing that a lot of people actually go with mobile games for. They just pump out something. They don't really care too much about making it too crazy. They just hope that it's viral. They just hope that, you know, they could even make 100,000. You don't have to make millions and millions. You just gotta make 100,000, and then you just paid off your student loans.
Make another crappy game. Goes viral for another 4 months.
No. You have your one-hit wonder.
Was it like
whenever I see new games came out like that, I was thought to myself like there will always be something new for any game, mobile gaming, just any game in general.
No, you said it.
Flappy Bird. I was just gonna bring that up.
Man, Flappy Bird. That. Oh, I'm ashamed of how much I played that.
I never even played
people were like downloading it on their phone. Because I'm still able to download it. I'm pretty sure if you all downloaded before, you own it, and you're still able to read and download it. And people were like selling their phones because they thought it was so rare.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you can just keep doing that.
They were selling it on eBay for like $1,000.
People were paying lots of money just to play it. It's ridiculous.
Just to play Flappy Bird.
On somebody else's phone.
I'm gonna need that phone back though.
An important phone call.
Wow.
My minutes start up after 9.
I have an interview, on the phone interview.
I'm gonna need to borrow the top half of your suit too.
Pokemon Go though.